We are back in our beautiful studios here on League Unlock. Eric and Mark with you guys. And the off-season news has died down a little bit, but we've still got some big boys in OpTic Gaming who are going to be the perennial threats to take home the NALCS crown in 2019 because they got crown on the roster. Former world champion coming in, and we didn't know what the rest of this roster is going to look like. We don't fully know yet, but they did bring on a coveted free agent in Meteos from FlyQuest. We wondered how long would he stay on FlyQuest Academy. Not one single game in 2019. He's heading over to the green wall.
Yeah, good to see Meteos move back into a starting role here with OpTic Gaming. Certainly the level of play that you would expect. He is a starting level jungler, at least in the NALCS, absolutely.
And so they're playoffs now.
Let's be really careful here. We're talking about OpTic Gaming here, Eric.
One game away, last split.
Yes,
9-9.
But there's quite a bit of a difference here in how that I think that this roster should perform. And even, hey, if Crown can come in and get anywhere close to the level that some might remember, maybe 2016 level Crown. Yeah,
that's a
maybe.
few years ago.
But I haven't seen signs of that Crown for a long time, and I don't know if maybe just a nice, relaxed environment in NA will be enough to bring back that level of play.
It probably wouldn't hurt to, be feeling like that and have absolutely no pressure. It sounds like Dokla is probably going to come back in that top lane, obviously. Meteos signing, Crown already signed, and the bottom lane is the main question mark. But around Twitter, it sounds like they might be bringing back Arrow and Stunt from 100 Thieves Academy coming to play with him. I know originally heading into the offseason, it seemed predetermined that Arrow was not going to stay in North America. He wanted to go back to the LCK. It kind of sounded like, but doesn't look to be the case. He may be returning to OpTic. Even with that bottom lane on this roster, hard-pressed to see that being a playoff team.
Very hard.
Or close to a playoff team.
I don't see that this team really finding a way to squeak into playoffs yet. I'd love to give them a chance. I'd love to say, hey, OpTic Gaming, it's going to be okay. You've made some changes. Now it's going to work out. But I don't think these are the changes that you needed to be making here, especially when you look at what the lineup changes and who you're missing now, the likes of Power of Evil and Acadian. Yes, Acadian wasn't always the strongest jungler during his time on OpTic. He did have his moments, though, where he was able to carry the team play. And then, of course, Power of Evil. What can you say about the guy? Yes, he's cashing in the big North American checks, but he absolutely brought the gameplay with him here, and he was that kind of that shining moment here for OpTic in a lot of those games, trying to carry them through. And now with Crown there, yes, Crown can sometimes get to that level, but I don't see it happening right now, right here.
Isn't it a crazy world we're living in where you say Crown is a massive downgrade from Power of Evil on OpTic Gaming in North America?
If you said that 2 years ago, you're instantly in a mental ward crazy. Right now, it's actually reality.
Yeah, and OpTic, I don't know what reality they're living in, but what we're saying now is Meteos will not be going to TSM, so that rumor is dead because he's joining OpTic. Acadian is still going to be on that free agent market, but curious to see how Meteos fits in with this squad. An interesting little tidbit, obviously, on Cloud9, Meteos matched up against Crown in the quarterfinals of Worlds 2016. So maybe they remember each other.
Yeah, hey, he'd have better memories than Doublelift would of facing down Crown here, so not a problem to be teammates Meteos. I think that adding Meteos, though, is a good move for OpTic Gaming. He does have a very good strategic mindset towards these games and how to plan them out and maybe make some of these shot calling things here. And again, a veteran player for this lineup when you're looking at the likes of Dokla in the top lane. It would be nice to have someone like Meteos to maybe work with him, work on that synergy of the jungle and top duo there as well, given what they might be able to achieve.
Yeah, and I mean, the expectations are not going to be very high for OpTic, assuming this is the roster that gets filled out. And even if the bottom lane is different than what's rumored to show up, I think the expectations will still be pretty much the same, and that is towards the bottom end of the NALCS. But I mean, at one point it was rumored OpTic didn't even want back in the league. So the fact that they even have a roster going forward is a positive, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It seems to be that maybe some of those talks about OpTic wanting to get out of the league a little bit early seems to be maybe a bit too premature as far as what they were.
Fake news.
What they were doing. But yes, I think that OpTic Gaming re-upping here and picking up a player like Meteos is a good sign towards their commitment to League of Legends.
So most teams love to use 2 import slots, and really more than 2 once guys actually get domesticated. Just look at Liquid or 100 Thieves with 3 Koreans on their squad. But a team that's doing it the other way is FlyQuest, announcing their new top laner in V1PER in the top lane, coming over from Team Liquid Academy. This is a guy who's been hyped up for a pretty long time. He's dominated solo queue, been called a Riven one-trick. He loves to play those carry champion, high mechanically intensive champions. I think it's safe to say we were expecting him to get into the LCS eventually, and in 2019, it's looking like it's going to be the time. No Flame anymore in FlyQuest, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NA players, even though Santorin is from EU. He counts as domestic. 0 imports.
That is a bold move from FlyQuest here. And you know what? Normally, I would light them up for it. I would say, hey, you know, you got to be using these imports. You got to be finding a way to be as competitive as possible. We lit up Echo Fox at the times that they were rolling with an OPL import there. So this is certainly a strange decision from FlyQuest to roll with no imports. But I think when you actually look at this lineup, I think they're going to be okay. I think they will find a way to be competitive here, to fight for a playoff spot, even without any imports on this lineup, rolling with the full-on freedom lineup of all NA players.
Yeah, I mean, if you compare to last year, Pobelter, definitely an upgrade over Keen in that mid lane. And then top, V1PER. I mean, initially, you're obviously going to say that's a downgrade from Flame because he was one of the better top laners in the NALCS. So for now, that's going to be a slight downgrade. But I think the upgrade of Pobelter over Keen is a bigger gap than you're going to see Flame down to V1PER. And maybe he surprises and actually performs really well. It turns out domestic top lane talent's actually pretty good in NA.
Yeah, Pobelter will certainly provide a good upgrade for this FlyQuest roster in the mid lane. But when you're bringing in V1PER into that top lane, you're right, it is going to be a case of missing Flame and how absolutely vital he was to your success last year, in the way that he could absorb pressure and the way that he could turn around certain matchups certainly is something that Flame was so incredible at. But bringing in V1PER, you're absolutely not missing out on the potential of this guy and what he's had. We've seen him with the Team Liquid Academy now recently, and we knew that, hey, someday this guy is certainly going to deserve that spot on an LCS roster and really try to make it work here. And now he's got a good opportunity, and especially with a team here that does have their eyes set towards the playoffs and has a chance to really push for it, that he does have a chance to contribute and be meaningful here in these matches.
I mean, they finished 6th last split. There's no reason to think that they couldn't fight for that spot again in 2019. Obviously, we still don't know the full lineup for the majority of NA teams going forward, but FlyQuest could definitely make a push for it, and I like what they're doing. They're getting out more content, especially with Wild Turtle, and they're really just banking home that we have one of the most personable players in the league. So let's make him do more videos.
Hey, oh, absolutely.
Think they pay him?
I'll take more Wild Turtle videos any day of the week. And you got to say that him paired up with JJ there in the bot lane has actually been a very good pairing for FlyQuest.
Yep.
Has been able to manage maybe the wild aggression from Wild Turtle, has seemed to be reined in a little bit, or unleashed at the right moments here with FlyQuest, and I think that's something important. And as well for them, the likes of Santorin coming over here, and a lot of people were maybe doubting what he would be able to do back here in North America, and he seems to have provided a better level of jungling, a steady performance there for FlyQuest to allow them to get those leads and try to push ahead.
We'll see if V1PER can follow in the footsteps of Licorice and go from Academy or Challenger to top tier in the LCS, although there's some pretty intense competition in the top lane for 2019.